I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about that.
This one's wife. Line up and clap me, you plebs. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Before we get into the latest nitty-gritty about this one's wife and what further examples I can provide you of the way that she behaves, time for a little bit of history. Are you familiar with the concept of a Potemkin village? Potemkin. I'm sure some of you are. But for those of you who are unaware, a little bit of learning for you, and it's useful. Basically, in politics and economics, a Potemkin village is a construction whose purpose is to provide an external facade to a situation to make people believe that the situation is better than it actually is. The term comes from stories of a portable village built by Grigory Potemkin, a field marshal and former lover of Empress Catherine II, solely to impress the Empress during her journey to Crimea in 1787. The original story was that Potemkin erected phony, portable settlements along the banks of the Dnieper River in order to impress the Russian Empress and foreign guests. The structures would be disassembled after she passed and reassembled farther along her route to be seen again. So basically, these structures were put up to create a fantastic facade so that the whole of the building, for instance, looks like it's well constructed and that it is newly painted, even though what's behind it is crumbling and is decay. It was all about presenting an image. In actual fact, it would appear that much of it was actually fake, which is quite amusing, that a fake village was actually fake, and that it wasn't actually designed to deceive the Empress because Potemkin had a close relationship with her. More likely, the deception was for the purpose of directing it towards the foreign ambassadors accompanying the imperial party. It essentially is used in a political context, so it's there for any hollow or false construct, physical or figurative, meant to hide an undesirable or potentially damaging situation. And the fact is that behaving with a Potemkin village is now something that's entered into language to create this Potemkin structure in order to generate a facade. Now, this one's wife hasn't brought out the paint pot and the hammer and nails and has been constructing some kind of Potemkin facade around her properties to make them look better than they actually are. But as a narcissist, she regularly engages in the subconscious deployment of a facade. Remember, she believes that she's kind, she believes that she's popular, she believes that she has an idyllic marriage, and she wants to portray all of that to the outside world. Why? Because her narcissism demands that she do so, because by portraying those things it will make it easier to control various people, namely those that come up on her radar. She's able to draw fuel from them by way of response. Oh, isn't she lovely? Isn't she fragrant? Oh, if only my marriage was as wonderful as hers and Harry's. They truly are a king and queen, etc., etc. And it may also lead to the provision of character traits and residual benefits. Accordingly, she wants to show the world, here I am, I'm immensely popular, I'm well liked, everybody adores me, when of course, what is actually the case, there is more and more evidence that demonstrates that she's a thoroughly unlikable individual. Shallow, nasty, backstabbing, superficial in behaviours, lacking emotional empathy. But that isn't going to stop her narcissism attempting to Potemkin the world by making her, as a hollow construct, appear all the more enticing and appealing. And we have an excellent example of this facade management in action with a short piece of footage which I'm going to play for you now. Here it comes. What have we seen? Well, these are school children at Robert Clack Upper School back in 2020. What she's done is have it arranged so that the school children are all lined up so that she can walk down the middle of them and receive their applause. What does this achieve? Well, first of all, these several score non-intimate tertiary sources applaud her. That provides her with positive fuel. It makes her feel powerful in that moment. It also demonstrates that they're under control because they're applauding her. I dare say many of them are wondering, what on earth are we doing? But they clapped nevertheless. This also helps her create this facade of being popular, so that she can have this recorded, which took place on International Women's Day, so that she can then provide this to the outside world and say, see how popular I am, see how kind I am, see how the children admire me. Here I am walking along, playing with my hair as usual, brushing it out of my eyes, and awkwardly going over to the girls, not really sure of what to say to them, but I'll go over to the boys and I'll shake hands with them and chat away with them and smile at them. But I'll interact with all of these plebs because it makes me look good. I've arranged this facade. Now, of course, whilst it was stage managed in that moment to have all of those children line up and for her to walk down the middle, they didn't just do it. They didn't think, oh, the Duchess of Sussex is coming. I tell you what, let's get into two lines and we'll all applaud her as she walks along. This was obviously created, and her narcissism created it in the moment to make her look good. This wasn't a spontaneous reaction from the children. It was stage managed. This is the version of the Potemkin village of this one's wife, whereby, in order to make an unappealing, hollow and superficial individual look more attractive, she has school children lined up either side so she can walk down the middle as if she's some kind of former pupil who's just gone and won a clutch of gold medals at the Olympic to walk along while everybody claps her. I dare say many of the children are thinking, who the hell is she? She was what? Suits? What's that? And three of the lads end up shaking hands with her. One hopes that they use some kind of antibacterial hand wash thereafter. This will have been around COVID times as well, bear that in mind. Probably just as the pandemic was rearing its head. But of course, this one's wife organises this. Her narcissism drives her in this moment to set all of this up so that she can not only receive the fuel and so that she can control those children, but then the footage is generated so she can say to the world, do you see? Do you see? Do you see how wonderful I am? Do you see how the children applaud me? Do you see how they like me? Do you see how the boys want to shake my hands? They probably fancy me, you know. This is her version of the Potemkin village, creating that facade for the purposes of the pursuit of the prime aims. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.